In this video, we will be talking about how to write expressions and how to translate verbal phrases into those expressions. So we need to look for words that indicate mathematical operations. So for example, I have a list over here on the left. Words that indicate addition are sum, plus, total, more than, or increase by. And subtraction, some words that indicate that you're talking about subtraction are difference, less than, minus, and decreased by. Words that indicate that we're talking about multiplication are times, product, multiplied by, and of. A lot of people forget that of means multiplication. And division, words that mean division are quotient, divided by, and divided into. And so here in red, I have a list of some verbal phrases that we want to translate into mathematical expressions. So we're trying to turn this English into numbers. And we have to make sure that we write them correctly and look at the words that are given to determine what mathematical operation we're dealing with. So an example letter A, it says the sum of 2 and a number x. So the word sum indicates that I'm talking about addition. So it says I'm adding 2 and a number x. So this is just 2 plus x. Look at example B. It says a number n plus 7. So again, plus means that I'm adding. So this just becomes n plus 7. In example C, the difference of a number n and 6. Now, order is important when writing subtraction and division expressions. So here, I know I'm talking about a subtraction expression, and so I have to write this in the right order to give it to me. So the difference of a number n and 6 has to be written in order n minus 6, so just as they give it to you. Now, 6 minus n in this example would be incorrect. That's not right, because the n comes first in the expression and then the 6. Let's look at example D. It says a number y minus 5. So again, we're talking about subtraction. Just go in the order they give it to you. Y minus 5. Letter E, 12 times a number y. That's indicating multiplication. So this is just 12 times y. Now, I think once we're talking about algebra and things here, the x gets confusing to use as multiplication. So instead of writing an x for multiplication, we should write 12y, or even 12 with a dot y. So the x gets confusing because we don't know if that's a variable or not. Now letter F is 1/3 of a number x. This is where many people don't realize that of is meaning multiplication. So 1/3 of a number x will just be 1/3 times x, or 1/3 x. And example G, the quotient of a number k and 2 is indicating that I'm talking about division. Now remember that order matters here. So here I have to do the quotient of k and 2. This is k divided by 2. 2 divided by k is not correct. That's the wrong order. It's k divided by 2. Let's do just a few more examples here. These ones are a little more complicated, but they're still fairly simple. This one, letter H, says 4 less than the quantity 6 times a number n. Now, the word quantity, the quantity here, this little phrase that is telling you which part that we want to group together. So here it says the quantity 6 times the number n. That means I need to group 6 and n together. So I write those together. This is 6 times n. So we have a quantity 6 times n, and I want 4 less than that, which means I'm actually subtracting 4 from it. So even though 4 shows up first in the expression, in the phrase rather, it comes last in the mathematical expression, because if I want 4 less than that, that means I'm subtracting 4 from it at the end. Letter I is 3 times the sum of 7 and a number y. So here is showing that I'm adding. The times right here means that I'm multiplying, so what comes first? Well, I want 3 times the sum of 7 and the number y. So I know that I'm adding 7 and y. So I'm going to do the sum of 7 and y. Now I want 3 times that. So if I do this, that won't give me 3 times the sum of 7 and y. It'll give me just 3 times 7. And so in order to get 3 times the sum of 7 and y, I need to put 7 plus y in parentheses to indicate that I want 3 times the whole entire sum. Let's look at letter J. So it says the difference, so here I've got subtraction, the difference of 22 and the square of a number m. So again, order matters with subtraction. So I want the difference of 22, so I'm going to write 22 first, and the square of a number m. That means that m is being squared. So just write in order just like that. Hopefully this helps you figure out how to translate your verbal phrase into mathematical expressions.